they're just incredible. The support they gave to our family, but to every family, and they do it with such a smile. And you know what? They laugh loads, which is just and make everyone else laugh. So they bring joy, and I just think they're magic.
Get Radio Breakfast with Rich Smith.
Really looking forward to catching up with my next guest, who's been just over a year since we last spoke. Tom Gilbey, the wine guy, is taking on another challenge for Sobell House Hospice. But let's take it back a little bit. Tom, good morning to you.
Morning, Rich.
Thanks so much for joining us. As I mentioned, it's just been over a year since we last spoke. And just before we spoke before, you were undertaking something bonkers, something that went viral, and something that I definitely watched all over my social media sort of this time last year. Just explain to everyone what on earth you were doing this time last year.
Well, Rich, it's the most brilliant accident that sort of happened and changed everything, really. So I was running for Sobell House, the London Marathon, and my 27-year-old son, Fred, was a bit disappointed with the amount of money we'd raised. So he decided to put a challenge together of me blind tasting a wine every mile. And then he thought it would be fun to video it, and then he showed me the video on Sunday night, and I said, "You can't post that; it's too stupid." And he said, "The problem is I just have," and that's it.
I mean, it was. I remember it so vividly, and I was doing just like literally millions of other people, just kind of watching these videos of you arriving at the mile markers with a different wine and trying to sort of guess what it was, and,
Yes.
and looking. Forgive me for saying maybe slightly more weary as the miles went on, as many
Yes.
people do undertaking all of that.
Yeah.
But how was that whole experience for you? Because the term overnight success, I mean, it felt like that a little bit with that.
Rich, first of all, the marathon, I recommend anyone have a couple of drinks during it because it makes it a lot easier. But the experience afterwards was completely bonkers. I've never experienced it. I think I did experience something going viral and my phone just went mad. But the most brilliant thing about it is when I crossed the finish line, I had £2,000 raised. By the end of the week, we had £38,000 in all sorts of currencies that were that I'd never heard of, and all languages, basically saying you're an idiot in all languages, and it was just brilliant.
That's a wonderful thing, and just remind people about your affinity and your association with Sobell.
Well, Sobell looked after my dear mum in her in her dying days, and I got to know the team. Because I was going to run the year beforehand, but got injured, and they're just incredible. The support they gave to our family, but to every family, and they do it with such a smile. And you know what? They laugh loads, which is just and make everyone else laugh. So they bring joy, and I just think they're magic.
It is incredible, and I never get tired of hearing that with speaking to so many wonderful charities that we do have here in Oxfordshire, Sobell, of course, being one of them. And every single time, it's not the doom and gloom about the incredibly sad and moving events that happen with people that are in Sobell. It's the complete opposite. It is the flip side. It is the happiness. It is the joy, the laughter, the memories, and it's such a beautiful thing.
Rich, I could not agree with you more. I honestly felt completely honoured to do that, and the last year, I say to the team there, it wouldn't have happened without them. And they support me all the way along. And so I love them. They're great.
Well, it moves us on, fast forward a year. Yes. And here we are undertaking your next challenge. Explain all.
Well, this is a bike ride in the hometown in Oxford. And I'm going to be doing a smaller distance. So they do up to 100 miles, I think. I'm going to be doing a 25 miles. We thought riding a bike with wine was probably not the safest thing to be advocating. So we can do a little bike ride and then a fun little wine tasting at the end at the finish line, and just celebrate a bit of the joy that's been for me and the camaraderie they give to everybody. So
I'm so pleased you've got the wine in there, because I was really worried that it was just going to be the bike ride. But I'm really pleased that you've got all that set up for the end. That is going to be.
Rich, I've got my wine water bottle. I've got everything, but just wine at the end. Wine at the end.
The boy, just make sure there is one at the end. And I know everyone who runs a marathon. I've not done it personally myself. I know everyone who does these amazing events and raising so much money for charity. They all go for a drink afterwards. Is there a particular wine that you're kind of looking forward to after the bike ride with Sobell, or is it just kind of like, actually it's an achievement, anything is going to taste good?
Well, that first, but I'm also going to make a choice, and I'll have it's going to be a beautiful day. I'm going to have a sparkling wine, and anyone with me is going to have a nice English sparkling wine made close to Oxford. But during the marathon, I was meant to have that, and my dear assistant had sugared off home because he got a bit bored, so I was left with nothing. So this time we're going to have a greeting party.
Wait, so your assistant got bored waiting for you to do the marathon and just went.
Yeah, I phoned him and he said, "Oh, I've gone home," and I went, "Well, that's absolutely useless."
Brilliant. That is absolutely incredible. So, okay, well, look, make sure you keep the pace up with this event, because we don't want anyone sort of being there at the end and you going, has anyone bought the wine or no?
No. I'm gonna have the wine, and I want some folk there with me. It'd be fun.
Amazing, Tom. It's been great catching up with you once again this year. And I'm so pleased you're linked with the amazing Sobell House, because it is just an incredible place, and what they do for absolutely everyone there is amazing. And look, I'm sure loads of people will be with you for firstly the bike ride, and maybe secondly as well, just at the end for
a little glass
of something. Well, I have to say, Tom, cheers to that.
Cheers to that, and thank you for your support. Amazing, Rich.
Absolute pleasure, anytime. It's Tom Gilbey there, the wine guy, of course, but also a wonderful affinity with Sobell House Hospice, and great to catch up with you. Make sure you have a little look at that on the 22nd June, cycling around the beautiful Oxford and beyond as well, if you want to do that. And Tom will be doing that 25-mile route with a little glass at the end. Lovely.